If you're just joining us now, you can see that Erin Moughon-Smith is with us. She has faithfully been a Sunday school teacher for the 4th and 5th grade for a really long time, actually, for many years, and a younger age before that. You've already guessed all the questions parents have. Walk us through it.
Cool. So you guys get to pretend to be in my class, and look, I made a slideshow. Yay! So I do have time for questions at the end. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. If you do have a 4th or 5th grader, they probably know a lot of answers to these questions, for they were my co-producers on creating this script. This is not a skill set I had before March, and it's been a long time coming, but I am so grateful for all of you, and I'm so grateful for your children, because really it was Malcolm and Lena and Lucy and Lydia and Katie and Fiona and Kieran and anyone else I've forgotten. Because if you don't know, hi, I'm Erin. With the 4th and 5th graders, we wrote this script and came up with the idea for it. And you may be asking yourself, what is our Zageant about? So our Zageant essentially, our Zageant starts with a bunch of kids opening presents or wrapping presents and getting excited about the secular part of Christmas. And then we zoom in on to an older sibling and a younger sibling, and the younger sibling is putting out cookies for Santa, and the older sibling is like, do you know why we celebrate Christmas? And the younger sibling is like, presents and family. And the older sibling was like, Jesus. And then we cut to a 1950s, 40s reporter who is the gospel writer Luke, who is talking with some angels and like they're all reporting the story of Jesus. Malcolm does an amazing 1950s, 40s news reporter accent. So that is something we all have to look forward to. And so the angels all decide they are also reporters, because angels are bringing the good news. And we have these angels kind of narrating us through the story and doing interviews with Elizabeth and Mary throughout the time. So that's kind of how we've framed it within Zoom, is somebody, and then we have news reporters interviewing people on Zoom, which eventually culminates with the screen filling with everybody in the pageant, in the nativity scene, and then going back to the older sibling, younger sibling, talking about, oh, it is about Jesus. Let's put our nativity scene out and let's make it about Jesus and Jesus's birthday. And then everybody going from having secular backgrounds to having Jesus backgrounds, which I will talk more about in a second because I can see the questions coming. But that is essentially the shape of it. The kids told me they liked the funny parts, like at the beginning, the older sibling's like, spell Christmas, and the younger sibling goes, Xmas. So we get little bits of humor in there too. So it should be fun. But essentially, yeah, modern times, going back to olden times, going back to modern times. So how is this going to work? This is where your beautiful, lovely faces come in and your children come in. It is all going to be filmed individually. So in normal life, we'd be on stage and like Mary and Joseph would be talking to each other. The angels would come out and talk to each other. On Zoom, that is really hard to do, especially if somebody needs to talk in unison or somebody needs to sing, because Zoom was designed for conferences, which means the loudest voice wins and cancels every other voice out. And we don't want to do that in the pageant. So what's going to happen is you all are going to record your children either on Zoom, your phone, whatever you want. And then Mary Ellen, myself, and Jimmy are going to put it all together on the screen and make it look like your students are next to each other and make it look like stuff. So here are my tips and tricks for recording at home. There are 6 slides of this. So if you're nervous, there are 6 slides. I shared this with Mary Ellen so she could share this with all of you. Make sure tip 1 is make sure you have the right background. For the opening and closing, it should be decorated for Christmas. Or it can just be a plain blank wall. Those are the things I have found look best. If you have a blank wall, or if you have, like, if it specifically calls for like, oh, they're decorating for Christmas, or oh, they're putting out a nativity scene. Blank walls also look great on these Zoom things because then they look unified. No virtual backgrounds. If you we talked about this as 4th and 5th graders. It's not equitable because not everybody can do a virtual background. So then it would be weird if some people did and some people didn't. But 2, if you may have noticed, like ghosting, or like sometimes like the virtual background does it like a blurb. I recorded something for my classes last week and it looked like I had a ghost over here because white kept flashing. So no virtual backgrounds. Do not do them. They will not look good. No virtual backgrounds. All recording options are great. If you want to use your computers, if your computer or iPad has a camera, or if you want to go on create a Zoom meeting for yourself and record via Zoom, or if you want to just use your phone, everything looks great. If you do use your phone, please make sure it is in landscape mode, this mode. It will look better and look more uniform with all the types as opposed to this way. And yes, that is Baby Yoda. I have talked with the kids about my Star Wars love at end. If you want to talk later, I'm down. And make sure the biggest thing is make sure you label your recordings, because we don't want to go through later and be like, is this Lena's or Lucy's, and have to watch all the clips and then figure it out. Just child's name and their role would be excellent. Number 2, lighting. Make sure they're lit from the front. I have a lamp right here. That's why I'm getting this light from this side. But any light you can give your child from the front would be great. Having a window, them facing a window will let the light face them better, or a lamp, or even the flashlight on a phone, like being aimed above them. Ring lights are also great if you have them. I teach high school students and they tell me all about how to properly light my selfies. So I'm going with that. But really, it doesn't have to be fancy, just as long as they are lit from the front. If they are lit from the back, we won't see their faces or their facial features. Costumes. My favorite thing to do with my students, middle school, high school, whatever, is, hey, this is your character. You have 3 minutes. Go run around your house and find something that looks like this character. And then they put it on and they're like, oh, I designed my costume and I feel really cool about it. I am down with whatever they feel comfortable with. If they are really struggling or freaking out, I was that child. I was that anxious child who's like, but if I cut the paper and it doesn't turn out right, I can't fix it. I need to make it right. Please reach out to Mary Ellen or myself and we will help your child feel good about their costume choices or figure out something for them. Same thing with props. If they're like, I'm a shepherd, I need a shepherd staff. Awesome. Cardboard tubing makes great shepherd staffs. Have them make something or find something that they feel like really matches their character. Again, anything that makes them feel good and confident, I am in full support of. Recording music. There are going to be songs. It is Christmas. There are Christmas songs. Please, so when recording music, this is what you need to do. Children need to wear headphones and have the music playing through the headphones. You don't want it. The only thing that should be on the recording is their voice. That's because when we put them together, sometimes music records on a weird delay, and we want to make sure everything lines up. So when recording, they should have headphones on to hear the music, and we should only hear their voice. If you are a multi-child household and would like to record all your children singing together, that is totally fine. They just won't have separate boxes on the screens during those songs, but their voices are fine as long as the music is not coming through, because we'll have to have the music playing later. It's a weird thing in this virtual world. And if you're struggling with that, please reach out and I can help with that. But it does really work if the music is playing in it. I have recorded myself doing it this way, and it sounds really weird when you listen to yourself after, but then when you put it with other people and put the music back in, it sounds really good. So music and headphones. Again, please reach out to me if you need help with that. 4, have fun. This sounds super stressful, and I understand that because I have high schoolers who are flipping out right now because they're like, but miss, I have to record my monologue by myself at home. And I'm like, yes, but have fun, be weird, experiment. Think of like, tell your performers that, oh, the first time I record this, it's rehearsal, and feel free to have fun. Most important, it's that faces can be seen and voices can be heard. Those are my 2 big things. But something that helps if your child is like, oh, I'm nervous. What I like to do is have them put their fingers along the box and trace it. And then I'm like, that's your person area. That's it. You just did it. And now you can play with it. Like, oh, if you're scared, maybe you're listening, and then the angels come and you're scared and you move way back. And then you move well forward and you're like, oh, baby Jesus, I need to see him. Just have fun with distance and entrances and exits. I am a rolly chair because I do like making the entrances and exits. Bye, everybody. It's fun. Let them have fun. It is not about being perfect. It is, in fact, about, oh, come on, computer, work when I need you to. It is about telling about Jesus's birth. The thing I always do with kids in person is remind them, we're telling the story of Jesus. And we've got God, Jimmy, and Mary Ellen on our sides, so we're going to be great. It is about telling the story. It's not about the costumes, the props, the music. It's about them participating and giving this message. So if they're like, oh, but I'm not good. Yes, they are. And two, it's not about being good. It's about giving the good news. So if they're like, oh, the video doesn't look great. It does look great. I assure you, it does look great. And if you're talking about Jesus and helping tell this story, you are doing what you need to do. So have fun. Remember, it's about Jesus. It's not about us, which I also have to remind myself sometimes. Like, it's about Jesus. It's about Jesus. And then rejoice because you're done recording. Once you've handed it in, you're done. Have a little rejoicement and enjoy. And we will make sure that everybody knows. Mary Ellen's going to give the cast list so you know which parts of the script to record. But again, if you are confused, reach out to me or any of the 4th and 5th graders because they know the script very well. All right, this is the time for questions, comments, and concerns, and I hope I can answer them. So I'm going to turn my share screen off. If any of you have questions, feel free to raise your hand, unmute yourself. I believe Sophia, yes, Mary Ellen can email those slides because I shared them all with her.
I have a question. So you said there are singing parts as well as there are other parts. And for singing, do you want just an audio recording or both audio and video recording at the same time?
Thank you, Jonna. Amazing question. Yes, both video and audio. That way we can put all their faces on screen while we hear them singing. And excellent question. And these are the songs we had talked about, by the way. They're in the chat. If you wanted a preview, they're all songs they have heard before. Jamie.
Do you want individual clips of each? I'm assuming you don't want them to just sing right through all of the songs. You want, like, say, Little Town of Bethlehem clip, Away in a Manger clip.
Yes.
So you're going to have, we'll send you the different files for each, whether it's a speaking, like monologue, or a song, right? We're not supposed to send you, like, have them run through the whole thing, all of their lines in one.
The individual clips would be easiest for, but if you are somebody who is struggling with, like, you're like, no, I need to do it all in one shot. As long as you leave space between, like, each song, you don't just go Away in a Manger and then straight into Joy to straight in. A little bit of space, so because then visually we can see where that goes silent and we can cut.
Perfect. We can do individual. I just want to make sure that was right and I didn't overwhelm somebody's inbox with, 12 different clips.
That is a great question.
Speaking of boxes, that raises, I have a question. How do you want us to send these to you? Because sometimes these video files can be too big for email.
Mary Ellen and I have not talked about that yet. It definitely will not be over email. We will set up a Dropbox or a Google Drive and we will let you know. That was something I woke up this morning going like, oh shoot, I didn't think of that yet. But thank you, Jonathan, for asking that. Yes, we will let you know where to send them because yes, they will all be to Will. Oh yes, yeah, thank you, Matt. And yes, Lydia already volunteered Seth as well. I don't have your children, Matt, so they didn't get the chance to volunteer you.
So you'll provide the musical accompaniment that they'll be listening to.
Yes.
Okay.
But I believe, Mary Ellen, we had talked about hopefully getting stuff by the 22nd, but the 29th is totally fine as well in terms of Sundays.
And we talked about, Erin, if people want to submit drafts or their best efforts. We will also work with folks if kids aren't sure, oh, I might need a redo or it didn't record well. So earlier the better. The Jimmy we're referring to is Jimmy Lawrence, and he is also a skilled video editor, and will be helping us put this together.
Yep. Absolute drop deadline of December 6th, because then that gives us 2 weeks to edit. But so like ideally November 29th, but if you want to submit it beforehand, yes. December 6th, absolutely last date, because if there is nothing else, I do want to say thank you guys all for having your children participate, for helping them out in this weird time. Yes, Zageant. I love all of your kids, and I'm so sad not to get to work with them in person on this, because while it was sometimes frustrating, it was always fun and always great to see, and always great to see kids step up and help each other. So I hope that children will help each other in this time, especially like the older kids who do know what they're doing, and that they have fun with. And I hope, like, the biggest hope is that they realize it's about Jesus and fun. Those are my 2 big things. If I can't see or hear anyone, but they had fun and they learned about Jesus, I am down for this. If I can see their faces and hear their voices, bonuses, but